Yo, what's good, Spirit Squad? As always, it's your boy Dre, and if you like what you're watching, make sure to click like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and make sure to hit the video description because that's where all of the relevant information is going to be. It's going to have contact information, other group information like Discord, Facebook, and Reddit. It's going to have deck lists, and anything else you may need to know. Oh, also, we finally got our merch in, so check out the Rattle Change t-shirt. There's also hoodies and a surprisingly sturdy coffee mug. But now that we're done shilling for the day, let's get right into some more spooky content. Yo, so today we're going to take a little bit of a direction away from spirits, and instead we're going to play a different tempo deck, and that's going to be Izzet Tempo. At this point, anybody who's been playing a lot of Modern has already seen Izzet Tempo a million times because, well, the deck is good. That's it. Deck's great.
If I pick the top tier, and you know I'm the most prideful motherfucker there is, yo. Yeah. If I pick the top tier, just pick a top tier. You want to win, yo? Pick a fucking top tier.
It's hyper efficient. You get to play a lot of the best removal, the best creatures, and the most efficient cards in all of Modern. And you get to back those up with just solid blue cards. So let's take a look at what this deck actually contains. We've got 4 copies of Ragavan, Nimble Pilferer, and yeah, this card's busted. A lot of people are talking about how this card may or may not be banned at some point in the future. I don't think we're anywhere near there, to be completely honest, but it is hyper efficient, especially when you get to play it turn 1 on the play. We also get to play Dragon's Rage Channeler, which is honestly probably the only reason Rags isn't actually getting banned in Modern anytime soon. This card's busted. Like, you just get to surveil every single time you cast a non-creature spell. You get to fix all your draws, and then a 3/3 flyer for 1. Like, we're already happy on this channel to be playing 2/1 flyers for 2. This thing's a 3/3 flyer for 1. Like, how much more efficient than that can you really get, right? It's like Wild Nicatl on ultra steroids or something. It's really wild. And speaking of crazy flyers, you also get to play Murktide Regent, which, if anybody on this channel has ever seen how excited we are to draw Rattle Chains, imagine getting to play the same 2 mana, except you get an 8/8 flyer instead of a 2/1. Murktide Regent is the absolute truth, and I will definitely be excited to play this thing at some point. The other 2 creatures in here are just going to be Snapcaster Mages. So that card doesn't really need an explanation. It's just been a solid card for the last 10 years. And it's going to get us spells like Lightning Bolts, Thought Scours, Serum Visions, and the new Unholy Heat. So sometimes it does 2 damage, a lot of the times it'll do 6 damage, so if you need to delete something as big as a Primeval Titan for just 1 mana, Unholy Heat can in fact do that. We also have Expressive Iteration, 4X, just the best card draw spell we've seen printed in a very long time. Like, 2 mana, you get to draw 2 cards, and this card's good enough to see play in Vintage, so that probably tells you everything you need to know there. Everything else is just counterspells. We've got 3 regular counterspells, 1 Archimage's Charm, all of which can be bought back with Snapcaster Mage. We're pretty happy about these things. And then 4 Mishra's Bauble, just a good hyper-efficient card to go to the graveyard for 0 mana that helps out Murktide Regent, but also it's an artifact, and a different creature type will help out your Darcy's too, so that'll help you get to those 4 card types in the graveyard a lot faster than you otherwise would. That's also why we're playing Serum Visions instead of something like Consider, which is still probably a better card than Serum Visions, but the fact that Serum Visions is a different card type helps your Darcy's out a lot more. Out of the sideboard here, we've got 3 copies of Flusterstorm, and this will help with a lot of decks right now. Living End is really good, Rhinos is really good, it helps against opposing Izzet decks, there's a lot of control in the format. I think Flusterstorm's in a really great spot right now. We've also got full 4 copies of Abrade to help with both miscellaneous creature decks. Also, just like killing artifacts is really important right now because Hammer Time is one of the best decks in the format, and we will see a lot of Hammer Time, especially if you play like a big relevant event. Hammer Time is all over the place, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. The other cards here are just kind of like your helpers, right? Like, we've got 2 Force Negations, insert scenario here, 2 copies of Voidmere, so that's really good against Rhinos, it's really good against Living End, but also against miscellaneous Tron decks. People are still trying to play both green and Eldrazi Tron. Voidmere does have a lot of play against both of those things. The only downside to Voidmere is that it does body our own Mishra's Baubles, be a little cognizant of that, but honestly, not the biggest drawback. We got 2 copies of Tormod's Crypt. They are primarily here to be 0 mana solutions for Living End, but it is also nice when you catch your opponent doing something actually graveyard based. Like, I don't know, if you find somebody playing Dredge still, or if they're playing, I don't know, some just miscellaneous graveyard deck. Tormod's Crypt is really good. And being a 0 mana artifact, again, is really useful for Dragon's Rage Channeler. That's why we're not playing something that is, like, say, Surgical Extraction, or like Soul Guide Lantern, or Relic of Progenitus, which can draw us a card. The 0 mana artifact actually matters quite a bit for cards like Darcy. And then the other 2 cards here are going to be Mystical Disputes. These just help a lot against a whole bunch of stuff. Mystical Dispute to counter opposing Murktide Regents. Again, Living In and Rhinos are really popular. Control is one of the best decks in the format right now. And using a Mystical Dispute to shut down like a Teferi is going to be super big game. Whether it's little or big Teferi, it's going to get to shut down Jace. Basically that entire deck minus exactly the card Supreme Verdict. So that's going to be the deck we play. We're going to jump right into a 5-match league, see how that goes, and yeah, good luck to us. Right, so we got round 1 here against Steve Knack. We don't get the die roll, but we also don't know what we're playing against. This is a username I actually haven't seen, so anything could happen, really. So here we just want like a good mix of like low cost stuff to kind of start the game out with. That way we can probably interact with whatever they're doing, really. And Rags, Darcy, Bauble, Serum Visions is kind of exactly what I just asked for, so we take those. Opponent also mulligan to 6, so if we get to like start off with Darcy into Bauble, or Rags into, you know, just whatever. And I am against Flooded Strand just going to start off with Darcy because I can dash to Rags next turn. So let's do that. Wrong order. I want to cast Darcy first. See what, if anything, they do about that. And we're going to Surveil. Okay, is this just like a removal spell, or are we looking at a fetch land? If they're going to just like fetch and not use the fetch to kill Darcy, I don't know that I necessarily agree with. Oh, they're just bolting it. Okay, sure. My deck has a counterspell on top. Do I want a counterspell? No, I think I do want a counterspell. So let's go ahead and resolve our Mishra's Bauble. And what I'm going to do here is go ahead and Bauble on their upkeep, so that in case they happen to be Grixis instead of blue-red, I want to have them not able to take the or see the additional card in my hand. I don't want them to know that I have a counterspell coming. Okay, so we see Hallowed Fountain, so that we know that they are Jeskai. We still don't know whether they're Jeskai Control or Jeskai Tempo, but it's good to at least Wall of Omens. Welp. Sucks to be you, Rags. All right. Man, that's obnoxious. So I guess I'm just gonna leave up this counterspell mana here, because I don't want to like necessarily get bodied by a copy of Teferi. So let's just play towards not dealing with that. Okay. Oh, this sucks. Land me? Nope. Okay. And I've only got 3 card types for now. So I could, in theory, end of turn, lightning bolt them. Actually, no. I'm gonna do this. I want to draw a land. I do not draw a land. So I'm gonna go ahead and I guess bottom the Murktide Regent and top the land so that I can untap and play that. But I am going to be ultra sad right now if we just get got with a Teferi on the untap. So a Shark Typhoon token, annoying, but I can deal with that. I will actually be kind of glad to bolt that. Alright, go on somewhere. And again, I have 4 card types, so this Unholy Heat will be able to clear This Wall of Omen, so like that's nice. A Rest in Peace. I lied. It will not be able to clear that. Rest in Peace in the main. Welp. This is the life we're living today, I guess. All right. I guess I'm just going to play the Rags then, and then hold up Counterspell mana. So they do only have 3 cards in hand. The Rest in Peace is really obnoxious because, like, this is an actual 7-drop that's not going to get above a 3/3. So Murktide Regent almost doesn't really have a job here. And to be completely honest, neither does Snapcaster Mage, which means I'm playing Snapcaster Mage. So this can represent a Shark Typhoon for 3. I drew another Murktide Regent. Also really annoying because we just put one on the bottom of our deck. So here, oh no, is it? Oh, it's okay. That's annoying, but okay. So we let them take the damage for that. We Unholy Heat here. At least now it's clear so that if they want to fight over this, I'm actually going to let them counterspell that. Yeah, that's fine. Because I don't want them to just like come at me with like a 5-drop Teferi next turn. So I will happily use my counterspell on that rather than dealing with all of this shit. So let's see if that's what they're going to come at me with. Okay. A Fiery Islet is not a bad draw. So let's go ahead and Serum Visions here. Expressive Iteration and Lightning Bolt? Don't mind if I do. Top. I want both of those. And I'm not going to attack here. Yeah, Iteration Lightning Bolt is actually absurd. That's so good for us. So let's end our turn. And we're going to go ahead and cast this first iteration here. We know that we want to put the Lightning Bolt in hand most likely, so we're really hoping for a land to be the 3rd card. Good. Bolt, bottom of deck, Serum Visions, and land gets exiled. So we can just play this land, and obviously we don't necessarily enjoy playing this ultra slow route, but we have a lot more cards than they do. So even though our 2 Murktide Regents are relatively dead, we're still not sad about the way this is working out. Here, I think I'm just going to attack and try to clear out this Wall of Omens again with a Lightning Bolt. So if they want to fight over this yet again, I will let them counterspell that yet again. I'd rather keep my counterspell for bigger things like Teferi and whatnot. Although this Rest in Peace in the main really is a pain in the ass. So let's see if they want to block this time or if they just want to take 2, whatever the deal is. Lightning Helix. Oh my god. Yeah, alright. So let's cast this. See what we have access to. I want the counterspell in my hand, the 4th Murktide at the bottom, and Darcy to be exiled, so I can just cast Darcy now. Still make our land drop, and go. Now what? We are casting probably Prismatic Ending. Faithful Mending. Well, you started off with a Rest in Peace, so I don't care if you want to do that. It is pretty annoying that they're at 19, but like, what am I going to do about that, right? So they ship Supreme Verdict and an island. They have another Wall of Omens. Alright. Consider me sufficiently annoyed. And I don't actually want to pop my Fiery Islet, because remember our medium goal for now is to try to get to Murktide Regent mana. So I'm going to you know, keep playing towards that goal. So let's go ahead and attack here. I will clear off one of these if they let me. Okay, cool. And I'll also get to bolt twice, which is nice. So what are they doing here? Another Helix? It's, oh, hell no. That's not happening, opponent. A Rags. I actually will keep Rags. Because if I'm going to get to Lightning Bolt this, Right? Let's think about that. No, I actually think I do want to keep the rags still, yeah. Because if I'm going to get to clear this out, I can, in theory, counterspell something here, untap, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could also just, like, ship the rags and then play Murktide Regent if I end up casting counterspell, but I think I would rather do this. And they're still at 19, which is kind of a pain in the ass. So worst case scenario here is what? Another Shark Typhoon is pretty bad. But here I have access to the rags. They block rags, of course. And they take the 2. What's this? A Helix. Do I want to fight over a Helix? Not particularly. Nah, I'm going to let them Helix that. That's fine. This is okay, actually. The more Helixes they use on my smaller things means that they will have fewer for things like my Murktide Regent, which I am much more concerned with resolving when I do get lands for them. Thought Scour. Okay, not bad. Chip away. Okay, not doing anything here, just going to chill. And okay. So let's Thought Scour them, actually. I actually will keep that. Yeah, we'll keep that. Teferi milled. That's not bad. Alright. Scalding Tarn I do want? Yeah, I want that. So, oh, okay. So there's going to be our other land. So this one, I'm going to just jam this thing for 7 mana. And if they counterspell or untap in Supreme Verdict, I am actually okay-ish with both things happening. Okay. Just like a regular old bolt kind of sucks, actually, but whatever, it's what it is. Not necessarily happy about these Wall of Omens, but it's kind of what it is. Okay, more land drops from the opponent. Bauble's actually kind of nice. So let's just attack first, I guess. Okay, chipping away. Tarn I no longer want. Unholy Heat I think I do want. Let's try this again. Do. I like how the window over there actually told me to delve cards like I have any way of using my graveyard. Thanks, Magic the Gathering Online, for absolutely nothing. Alright, so I don't mind doing this now. Maybe I mind a little. Alright, let's go ahead and attack. So if this is, again, another Shark Typhoon, we are kind of SOL to that. I'm hoping that's not the case, obviously. But I don't know that I really have the ability to play around it. Oh, no. Alright, well, that's like 100. I guess I'm just going to cuss about that, right? And they're coming back at me with a Teferi, too. Fuck. Man, and it had to be a 6/6, not a 5/5. You know what? I'm honestly kind of off it. I'm just going to go to next game. Yeah, the Rest in Peace really sucked out of the main. So here we can use things like Forces, Mystical Disputes, and I don't mind Flusterstorm against this deck. Things that I don't necessarily want include Archmage's Charm, Unholy Heats, can clear Teferis, but other than that, I don't know that I really want them here. And the other two cards that I want least, I think, are actually still Lightning Bolts. Like, Rags looks a lot better on the play than on the draw, but I don't necessarily think I want, excuse me, I don't really think I want like all of the bolts in any of the Unholy Heats, even though we've seen the Wall of Omens. I think this is still okay. So let's +2 Dispute, +2 Force, +3 Fluster, -4 Heat, -2 Bolt, -1 Charm. So I think this is going to be our sideboarding plan here against blue-white. So let's submit that and then see where this goes. So we're going to play first here, and our hand is not bad. Obviously this is super, super light to Rest in Peace, but other than exactly that, I think this is okay. Okay, let's go ahead and do this, and we are just going to cast our Serum Visions here. So we have Darcy Fluster coming up. Yeah, okay, well, I guess we take those. Top. So let's see what our opponent does here. Probably just a tapped land. They have a stop in my draw step. Does that mean that our opponent's playing Vendilion Clicks? We didn't see any black lands, but we only saw a Ketria Triumph, and honestly, I assume that is only in their deck so that they can, what am I looking for? Only in their deck so that they can have better prismatic endings. But if we see a black land and we know that they have a stop in our draw step, I guess I will play around things like Culligan's Command later on if possible. So that's something that I don't know that I really need to be aware of, but it is something I have the ability to play around and notice, so I think I will. Here I am just going to go ahead and chill. I don't know that I want to, like, use a half a turn, like using Snapcaster, Serum Visions, or anything like that. Yeah, so this is going to be a pain in the ass if this turn contains, like, either a Teferi or a Rest in Peace or anything. But I think I actually will just play a Snapcaster Mage as, like, a solid piece of beatery here. Okay. Are we trying to kill Snapcaster now? No. Okay. So let's go ahead here, get our attack on. And they're searching up a lot of basics, so I'm going to play around the potential for Blood Moon too. I could tap out here for Murktide Regent, but I actually don't think that's really the wave. I think I'm just going to snap back Serum Visions here, because I'm not really guaranteed to get too much use out of this graveyard, so I will take the use of the graveyard I have access to now. And that's actually kind of cool that we got to cast spells and have them try that. So we're going to go ahead and Fluster the Fire so that they don't 2-for-1 me there. And if they have a Flusterstorm back, okay, good. I was going to say, if they have a Flusterstorm back, honestly, so be it. But I'd rather not deal with as much of that as possible, right? Yeah, Flusterstorm is not bad. So let's resolve this. We drew a Serum Visions. We do not want that. We definitely want that. So if this is like Land Supreme Verdict, that sucks. But it will put 2 more cards in our graveyard, and we know that we will then just be able to jam out the Murktide Regent. It is a Supreme, okay. So, like, even this isn't all that bad. I'm actually going to do this first. Oops, did I just? Yeah, I did. That's not the first time I've done that. Let's go ahead and do this. Wow, nice. Card in hand. Card exile. Or, you know what I mean. Mystical Dispute. Okay. That's actually not bad. So, you bottom, you top. So that they can't, like, just run us out of threats, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have a 6/6. Unfortunate that we couldn't get it to 7/7, but let's see what happens here. So if this is just like a Teferi put this back, then I am medium upset by that, but what do we got? A Fateful Absence. Okay, so at least I'm going to get to make a clue token, so it's not just the worst. They're drawing Test of Talents. Okay. So I'm actually kind of grateful for this clue token too. So we know that we're a Force Negation too. Nice. All right, well, I guess I'm going to start with our friend Darcy here. And I will actually do nothing. I've got Force Negation and Mystical Dispute, and that'll solve pretty much all the problems they could present this next turn. And I don't know that I really need to worry too much about Lightning Helix. Okay. I think I actually want to force this. I do. But we're going to tap correctly for it. So let's do that. Canal Graveyard. Sick. Actually got exiled, so now my friend is a 3/3. That's obviously a lot better against a Wall of Woman's draw. If they try to tap out for a Teferi, I still have my Mystical Dispute. We know they have Test of Talents, which is pretty annoying, but I don't need to cast like Expressive anytime soon or anything like that. I can just like use the clue token they gave me. I can use this Mishra's Bauble. Ooh, nice. So let's do that now because we do want to draw the Force on their turn. Oh, look at that, Wall of Omens. So we did talk about the Dragon's Rage Channeler being a 3/3. That's pretty important. Yeah, we want you to attack. So if this is a Shark Typhoon where X is 3, like that's pretty annoying. So I will try to... Oh, duh. I know it's on top. Never mind. Yeah, whatever. All right, they're going to get the trade. Okay. That was bad because I knew what was on top of my deck. But I am going to do this now while they don't have Test of Talents up. Ooh, okay. Rags in hand, land in deck, Bauble playable. And I'm also going to use this Bauble now too, just in case I draw like another sweet blue card that I might want. So we will see the same Wall of Omens, and that's kind of whatever. But if I want to draw Castle White, okay. Draw lots of cards. Murktide and Serum Visions, nice. Okay, so this means that I will fight over a Rest in Peace here, even though we know they have access to Test of Talents. Are we just using Field of Ruin? We are. Yeah, that's fine. Blue, I guess. Wall of Omens, I don't necessarily care. I don't like the fact that Wall of Omens obviously can block the Rags, but I do have the potential for a big ass Murktide here, so I will be pretty happy about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this way we still keep a bunch of creature types in the graveyard. Do I want to Serum Visions? No. I want to be able to hard cast Force and back it up with a Mystical Dispute. So I will save my mana and not touch anything else. Okay. Whoop. You're a Teferi? Oh, a Solitude. Well, that card can fuck itself. Alright, well, let's just try to, like, do this, right? Like, make them pay 3. They only have 2 mana up, so let's see where that goes. There's a Test of Talents. Alright, your Test of Talents can piss off if you don't mind. No, you don't have 3 mana for this. Thought Scour, not bad. I think I will give myself a chance to draw a Bolt. Okay, fine. So take 5. No point to dashing to Rags here without a Bolt or anything else. So, oh shoot, I should have played a Rags here. And just like casting a Rags would have made them hold up mana for this Castle Ardenvale. So if they would have had like a Teferi or something else for standby, then they might have held the mana up and been scared of that. But now they don't have to be scared of anything I'm doing, really. So I am just going to basically cross my fingers, hope this last card is not a Shark Typhoon. If it is, that really blows, and I can't do shit about it. Oh, thank God, okay. So I will cast Rags, play this, and pass. Not terribly excited about the fact that my Murktide region is pretty much undefended here. Okay, so they used a spell on the Rags. Cool, perfect, because, well, we already didn't plan on getting it through anyway, so, like, whatever. Hell yeah. So now we get to go to game 3. In game 3, we're going to be on the draw. And on the draw, I think I do want a little more, I think I want more ways to deal with, like, the Wall of Omens and stuff so I can get these Rag events through. Because otherwise, honestly, like, Rags kind of sucks. So I think I am going to put 2 of these back in. So, but everything else, obviously, like, we kind of liked. Like, the Snapcasters were cool. Counterspell is nice. Expressive Iteration is absolutely godlike. Yeah. All right. Okay. Okay. This is, not bad. So we're going to keep this. And let's see what happens from here. Okay. So there's a lovely tapped land. And we are just going to cast the Rags. I don't think I really want to kind of like play around too much. So in the event that I actually get to untap with Rags, I have Counterspell in hand. Hell yeah. Don't you dare. Ah! Alright, fine. I was really thinking they were actually going to let me play my land there. Alright, well, we didn't get to do all of that. But this is still not bad. We've got double Thought Scour with Snapcaster in hand. We've got Expressive Iteration for, well, just future turns. That's actually not bad for us. So let's see what else we can mill. Oh, all right. Well, we take those. So let's draw something good, hopefully. What's... So I could do a couple of things here. Either I can play Darcy now and immediately use the bauble myself to guarantee like whether, or to know more about whether I want to draw the card on top of my deck using fetch land or not. If I want to draw the card, I don't fetch. If I don't want to draw the card, then I simply, fetch the card away and then get a new one. Or I can fetch now, then play Darcy, having counterspell backup. With 3 cards in their hand, I think I actually just want to protect my threats more. So let's island again. And the reason I'm grabbing islands here is on the ridiculously off chance that my opponent is actually playing like Blood Moon. Okay. And with 3 lands, I will protect my Darcy as promised. A Force of Negation, that's a pretty good draw. Put on top. And now that I know I'm drawing a Force, I don't mind seeing their Hall of Storm Giants and drawing the Force. I don't think I'll force literally anything other than Teferi next turn, but it's still a good piece of insurance against said Teferi. So let's see what they actually do with this turn now that I'm tapped out. Okay, as promised. I will keep a bauble. Hell yeah, that shit out my face. Alright, so I know like getting rid of Snapcaster is like I have card types and you're good against Shark Typhoon, so I will keep that. And I will cast my Expressive. So do I want to cast Expressive? No, I want to cast Expressive. I can put the Heat in hand. If either of the other 2 cards is a land, that's pretty good. Or I can just do this. Feign Counterspell. Actually, I think that's better. Yeah. I think I like that more. If they like use a card on this, whatever. But I want to have Expressive Iteration for turns where I don't know the top card. Or if the top card was something that I would be okay with like immediately playing, right? Okay, so they're drawing a Scalding Tarn. I'm obviously pretty happy about that. Okay, I have looked at the cards. Let's go ahead and attack for 3. So they're drawing a land, which is clearly really good for us. We're drawing a draw 2. I'm sorry, we have a draw 2. We know that we are going to be able to deal with either a Teferi or a, a big Teferi or a, Field of Ruin. That's actually better for us because, well, we know the card in their hand's a Scalding Tarn. So we're doing okay. And a Rags? Hell yeah, let's go. Well, draw step. Sure. There's nothing I want to do with the mana, but they don't know that. I'm gonna grab another island. I don't think it actually matters. I'll just grab a mountain. Alright, so we will dash here. Bloop, bloop. See what we can steal. We steal a Shark Typhoon. Yes! We can't use the Shark Typhoon, but honestly, I do not give a shit. I will be very content to know that they're not drawing that. That is good enough for me. Faithful Mending. I can't do anything about that, so have at it. You can. So they pitch 2 lands, which is pretty good for them. They still have the Scalding Tarn in hand. Chalice on 1. Annoying, but beatable. Like, we have the Expressive Iteration, so, like, okay. Mystical Dispute is also pretty good for us. So let's go ahead and cast this. See if we can. Oh my god, yes. Don't mind if I do. Oofers. So, fuck, I want all of these. I want the iteration to go. No, I want Dispute in my hand. The Darcy that I can't cast here, and this exiled. I will cast this as well. Obviously, it's not like at its best here, so graveyard. Okay. Cards I want include Snapcaster Mage in hand, Darcy in the deck, Flooded Strand that I can play here. So now I have access to double Dispute mana. And then starting next turn, like, this is fucking gas, because, like, I'll have access to, like, Snapcaster Mage to be able to counterspell stuff. I'm just going to fetch out, like, my, second to last land? Yeah. Good enough. So, Steam Vents can chill here. So, yeah, we are feeling pretty good about this. Wall of Omens. Annoying as shit, but I can't do anything about it, so whatever. And honestly, I'd rather spend any time that I would worrying about other stuff, like worrying about their big stuff anyway. So, like, ooh, speaking of big stuff, that is definitely big stuff. So let's go ahead, attack for 3 here. Yeah, that is big, exciting stuff. So I want a Murktide Regent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm doing it like that so that I have multiple counterspells still in the graveyard for Snapcaster Mage, and if I didn't have to deal with this Chalice, I would have left the Thought Scour in their graveyard, but I do have to worry about the Chalice, so I'm not going to leave that there. What is this? Oh, they're just, yeah. They have 1 card in hand. You know, I think I actually want to strand that card in their hand. I think I don't want to let them have nice things. And Rags is going right into the graveyard because I can't cast it. Alright, so that'll hopefully prevent them from finding, you know, just ridiculous cards like Supreme Verdict. Teferi can bounce our friend the... Actually, let's think about that. Is it better to just Snapcaster? No. No. I'll just do this. Whoop, whoop, let's go. Yeah, sick. So, I don't know. Busted blue-red cards are busted. I have no more words for this. But getting to beat the control deck that had Rest in Peace in the main and Chalice out of the board, when your deck is reliant on the graveyard and is chock full of 1-drops, you know, speaks to the power of it. Like, this deck is absolutely absurd. And as long as you're able to, like, play patiently and play your cards around what they have, man, this thing looks busted. Well, next round. Alright, so we got round 2. We got the die roll against Dr. Pepper is great. Agreed. And our hand, a little painful. I am going to keep this, but I am going to have regrets if they're an aggro deck. But not quite that many because I'm on the play with 2 removal spells, so... Like, it could be worse. Actually, it could be a lot worse. So, let's go ahead and play one of these. Play one of these. And I am going to wait until their turn to pop my bauble here. Because I don't know that they're not a Thoughtseize deck. Architect's a Will. So, it looks like we're playing against Living End. That'll actually be kind of cool to, like, Thought Scour ourselves. Because in the event that they actually do get to resolve a Living End, I'll be pretty glad to maybe put a creature or 2 into my graveyard, so. But not gonna lie, game 1 against this, without counterspells, does seem relatively difficult. what do we got? Incubation. I don't even remember what the other half of this card is. Whatever, I'll see in a second. Anyway, yeah, you can have a creature out of the top 5 of your deck. Goyf? It's not Living End. It's... I don't know, a deck. I don't know what I'm playing against anymore. Nothing in the universe makes sense now. Oh, so we got 2 running Spirebluff Canals, too. So my entire point about complaining... about the whole, you know, this is gonna hurt my life total thing, that's not really a conversation anymore. So I'm pretty glad about that. Uh-oh, opponent, no. Not like this. Alright, so we got 4 cards in here. Honestly, I'm just gonna fucking jam out. Yeah, like, there's no reason for me to, like, not just play a 5/5, right? So that's just what's going to happen here. So unfortunately, our opponent, with their cycling deck and a bunch of like cascadey 0-drop things, didn't get to hit their second land drop, which I think is not a great key. Whatever they kept, it was wrong. Whatever, you did that to yourself, opponent. Not even mad. So here, I'm going to put in the Void Mirrors. I don't want a Braid. I do want Flusterstorms. And I want Force and Negate. Actually, I want all of these counterspells. Like, I want all of this blue shit. This blue shit rocks. So I've got 9 spots that I'm putting in. That's a lot. So what do we got? We got 2 Mirrors, 3 Flusters, 2 Disputes, and 2 Force. Out. We don't necessarily want Unholy Heat. Not 34, just 4. -4 Bolt and -1 something, and I don't think that something is going to be our lone Archmage's Charm. I think on the draw... I think I actually just want to take out like one of these Serum Visions. I don't think this is a matchup in where I really want to take out Rags, because like other than like the Tarmogoyfs we saw, the likelihood of them having you know, near infinite interaction with an early Rags seems pretty low. So I think I'm just gonna shave the removal and instead just go with like a very blue heavy plan. Almost like a kind of like a Delver play, like in Legacy, where you get to play like a good turn 1 threat, back it up with counter spells and card advantage. That was perfect. I don't even have to like script this for my sentence. It just naturally happened. This is exactly what I want out of my opening hand. So thank you, Magic the Gathering, for being great. Downside though, a turn 2 Tarmogoyf does kind of brick wall this Rags, so I guess I do need to be a little careful about that part of things, but we'll still kind of see what happens. I will be very, very glad about this Flusterstorm versus whatever cascadey things they're trying to do here. Okay, so Incubation again. Let's see if they find a Cycler or Tarmogoyf or Street Wraith. It is Street Wraith. Alright, I'm going to be very happy about this Fluster. So here, I'm actually going to just do this. I don't need to get cute with the interaction between Bauble and Fetch lands this time, because I know I am casting a 0-drop right now. So I don't need to like kind of like putz around with that. I can just play my cards. Here I'm not really worrying about drawing Force or anything like that, so I'm just gonna do this now instead of drawing the card on their turn. So they are drawing a Bloodbraid Marauder. I'm gonna read a Bloodbraid Marauder. This thing can't block, 3/1, Cascade if you have 4 types. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay. So now to get to fetch land, do that, cast Rhinos now? Ah, fuck, that's good. Alright. Well... Yay! We're not just dead. Alright, I was actually really concerned about them just having Rhinos. Like, it does suck, of course, that they had Dead Gone for our friend Rags, but I am pretty okay with them just like not getting to body me for free on the other thing. So, and here if they do play like Bloodbraid Marauder into, wait, they kept another one-lander? Opponent, why are you like this? I didn't even think about that. Okay. So it was a fetch land, so they are going to get to do the line that we just talked about. They get to do this, play their Bloodbraid Marauder thing into, I assume, Rhinos. And we have a Flusterstorm, so that's not just the end of the world. The cool thing, too, is that as soon as we cast this Expressive Iteration, that'll also give our friend Darcy the 3/3. So that kind of rocks. This card seems really sick, though. We are casting Rhinos. Okay. Huh. Not gonna lie, this is one of the cooler build of Rhinos I've seen. Oh, same targets. Alright, fuck your spell. And this I'm gonna click Always Yield to, as soon as I get the chance to. We have an island that I do not need. Graveyard. So you can have your 3/1, but I've got a 3/3 flyer, so I don't know, get fucked, I guess. And what I will do here... No! I don't have a 3/3 anymore! I lied! I no longer have a 3/3. Alright. I got. So, things I can do here. I think I'm just gonna Expressive. Yeah, alright. Counterspell, Dispute, Serum Visions, huh? Okay. Card I want in here. Ugh. I want all of these exactly one turn later. Brr. I guess I'll put Counterspell in hand. Bottom of deck, Dispute. Serum Visions, Exile, so I can play that now. Not terribly happy about the way that panned out, but let's see what's happening here. They're showing me Endurance. Okay. And to be fair, Endurance actually is pretty good against me, especially if they draw to land to play it this next turn. What am I doing? I'm resolving a Serum Visions. Okay. Okay. So next turn, I can go ahead and play the Murktide Regent counterspell backup, assuming they don't see a land right now. If they have another one of these Marauders, that's annoying. Like that. So that's pretty good for them. But honestly, I think this board might still get got by just Murktide Regent Darcy. So I think that just is going to be the plan, right? Like, one land. I want to keep types in graveyard for Darcy, but I don't think that's going to happen. So if they draw the land for Endurance, well, they can't really Endurance me, right? Because that's just going to grow my Murktide. And if I get to untap, then I'll have access to Expressive and Counterspell. So that's actually pretty good. Cycling Street Wraith. Okay. Yeah, like clicking Attack All is actually pretty bad for them. So let's see what... Oh, no. Okay, so they have the Endurance mana here now. So what happens if they attack with everything here? Oh, that is what's happening. Okay. So I'm going to block here and block here. So I take 7, go to 3. If they Endurance to nug my graveyard, the 1/1's still gonna trade here just fine. And these don't have trample or anything, right? Yeah, no. Okay, no keywords. So the Murktide gets got by a dead gone or something, but that was already the case. Like, I can't do anything about that. Oh, 2, not 3. Whoops. So we're in dire straits for sure, but this is not just a lost cause. Okay. Not doing much about that, of course. Double blue. Are they casting a Murktide of their own? I think they are. That is what's happening, okay. And theirs is a 7/7, which actually kind of sucks for us. Now I have regrets about not putting that dispute in my hand, I guess. Okay, well, that's what happened. So let's start here and at least try to dig ourselves out of this mess. You're late. Humph. Yeah, alright, whatever. We'll go to game 3. So I still like a lot of what we were doing there. I am going to keep the same board. I'm not going to dick around with the Tormod's Crypts or anything. I think my plan was good and it just didn't pan out. The fact that they can cascade from turn 2 is pretty big, but that's okay. We'll just admit. So what can I do here? I mean, obviously, like, a turn 1 Rags on a play is just like absolutely lights out unless they see exactly a dead gone for it. So that's going to be a pretty big deal if that's what they have, but I'll take this. All right. So I've got a little bit of backup here for any of their what am I thinking of? For any of their spell-based shenanigans. I do want to do that. They are drawing a Triumph, okay. Zagoff Triumph. How many decks is this in one? Alright, so are we playing Incubation again? Nope, we're suspending a Footfalls, okay. So let's see what we get. Do we get to, like, dash a Rags here? No, but oh, don't mind if I do. Alright. I'm pretty happy about that, especially since we already got to play our copy of Mishra's Bauble, so like it's not even like this is gonna body our own plan unless we see another one. And even if we see another one, I'll be happy to put it in the graveyard as part of Murktide Regents' deal. So that'll still be pretty sweet. Cycle Street Wraith, okay. So here, are we just like looking for land drops? Looks like they find it. And let's see if they have anything to say about this Void Mirror or what. They probably already put, like, I don't know, a Braden or something to deal with. Oh, okay, it's just a 3/1. Got it. Here I would like to... I think I actually just Expressive here, right? Yeah. Okay, we take those. So, Flustered Storm in hand, basic island on deck, Flooded Strand exile, play to Flooded Strand, and I'll be pretty happy to also have just access to another card in the graveyard for Murktide Region 2, so that'll be pretty dope. So, I am going to be medium sad about not necessarily having anything smart to say about this attack for a turn or two, but once I get to play my Murktide region, I'll be pretty excited about that, especially since I'll have access to things like Snapback on Expressive Iteration, stuff like that. So that'll be pretty nice. Okay, so they're just going to go with an aggro plan. I can deal with that. I mean, it makes sense because I'm not doing anything currently about 3/1s, but can't say I hate it. Alright, so let's end the turn. Thought Scour 2. Alright. So that means I get to back this up with a Flusterstorm, which is nice. Scalding Tarn too, okay. So now I get to go grab a basic island here, and let's just do this. And I'm not going to worry about future Darcys. I guess I'll just do it like that and leave 2 types in the graveyard. And I'll just max out on size for this thing. So if they have a Mystical Dispute, I get to Flusterstorm that, which is really nice. And it looks like that is what's happening, so I don't know, piss off. Can't force a negation that. Take this 7/7 or whatever it is. I don't remember the size. Alright. 6/6, okay. So hopefully here they don't just come at me with like a Gone half of Dead Gone. That would really suck. But I feel like I'm relatively safe from most removal spell options. They could just like Brazen Borrower this and that would suck a lot. Oh, don't actually do that. What did we... Oh, we cycled. Okay. That's fine. I do not mind if you're just going to cycle here. So I'm definitely going to block if they try to attack here. But it's not like these things can block, so... Oh, sick! Alright. I feel like this is their problem, right? I just attack, and then I have double Snapcaster to play with. Or I can pop this, look for Darcy, maybe? Okay. Not great, but I still have access to Snapback, Fluster, and then Fluster in hand in case they have something smart to say about the Snapcaster too. So I guess just go to 9 here, right? Alright. Well. But now that they didn't attack for a turn, I'm winning this race, which is actually a really big deal. So this Crashing Footfalls isn't really going to do much. Thank you, Void Mirror. I mean, you are allowed to cast it. That is a thing you have the ability to do. So they have 4 card types. So the next one of these will be able to Cascade, but I'm relatively sure there's no more 1-drops in there. I don't know that they can fetch, really. I don't think that's on the table for them. So if they're just going to go ahead and attack here, then I'm going to end of turn just like jam a Snapcaster and present lethal. The only way I'm not doing that really is if they just like, I don't know, show me a Tarmogoyf or something, but it looks like I am just going to get to cast this thing. If one of these things in their hand is a removal spell, then honestly, so be it. Mystical Dispute. So I think I am not going to Fluster that. Right, Storm counts 4. They have to tap out. No, I'm okay with them tapping out. I will feel really dumb if they... Oh, nice! Okay, I was going to say, I will feel really dumb if they just, like, Brazen Borrower with the trigger on the stack here. But it looks like that's not what happened, so yeah. Good job, us. 2-0. 6. So we got round 3 against BDP Steve. I've never played against this person before, I think. But we got the die roll. We got some good stuff in hand, including a turn 1 Darcy. So I am not sad about this. So the cool thing about turn 1 Darcy into a Thought Scour is that she is so likely to be a 3/3. So that'll be really dope when we actually get to attack and have it be all awesome and whatnot. Hopefully they don't actually kill her off or present anything too threatening. So, Stomping Ground. Tapped! I did ask for something non-threatening, and I guess that is about as non-threatening as it gets. So, let's start with Thought Scouring ourselves. Express... Aw, man. Fine. I do have 2 Snapcasters in hand, though, so, like... You know, I'm gonna be able to, Oh, shit. And they showed me a Charlotte's Agent. So I know I'm playing against either Rhinos or Living End. Okay. Huh. So, knowing that I'm playing against either Rhinos or Living End, I'm not super mad about this. They Fire Ice. Okay, sure. So, I guess having the Fire Ice in hand is a good reason for them to make sure they... Wait, 5, 6, 7? Hell yeah. That's even better. Wah, wah, wah. 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't matter which creature I exile, so 1, 2. Alright, here's a 7/7 go. I don't know. Nice green-red deck. So they can go ahead and... Okay, I was going to say, so they can go ahead and present like Rhinos or something right now with another Shardless Agent. That is a play they have on the table. Yeah, okay, so they're just Rhinosing me. Okay, I can deal with that. You know, because of these Snapcasters, I actually kind of wish I had left a spell behind. So I could Snapcaster into like a Thought Scour. And I could have just dealt with like having a 6/6. So here, so I think what I would want to do here is have this attack, obviously, and I can snap back, block the Shardless Agent here, and then I can untap and have Rags active with the Murktide as well. So let's see if that's what ends up happening here. So I take 8, I go to 11. I'm presenting 7 on the way back, but I know I have 8, 9. So this may work out in my favor. Oop. More Rhinos. Why didn't they pump? Well, I hadn't. No, I had tapped mana. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't do this to pump. Alright, so I'm actually looking at lethal right now, though. So that's... Yikes. So we may not be anywhere near winning this race. Hand... Yeah, this is terrible. Damn. And I'm 1 short of Bolt Snap Bolt 2? Gross. That's 12. And each of these are 1 toughness too. Oh no, I'm either 1 mana or 1 toughness short of surviving and killing them. That's depressing. Because if I had 1 mana, I could attack Bolt, Snap, Bolt. If I had 1 more toughness, I could just block 2 toughness and be okay with that. However, if I fetch and go down to 10, if I have a block here and I block 2 toughness on one of these Rhinos, that's still 4, 8, 9, 10. Man, that sucks. Alright. Well, we lose game 1 to Rhinos, but we have a lot of stuff to be able to defend against it, just like we did last time. So we'll put in all of this cool stuff here, including the Void Mirrors, and we don't necessarily want like the Unholy Heats or the Bolts. And just like last time, I'm also okay with taking out 1 Serum Visions. So we're basically boarding the exact same way as we did last time. So versus Rhinos, we want... There. So that's what I'm going to present here, is our much more blue deck against them. And my hand is fine. I've got double Thought Scour, I've got Murktide. I don't have any fetches, so I'm not going to be able to Murktide as early as turn 2, but I think this is still fine, especially if I find a Flusterstorm at any point here. Because, like, without actually resolving Rhinos, this deck is relatively non-threatening to us. So, let's see what ends up happening there. I mean, I shouldn't go so far as to say non-threatening. Like, oh. Boo. Oh, and they even had a backup just in case, too. Nice. Alright. So... this Murktide region is just like not happening anytime soon, which is pretty obnoxious. But I do have them on 4 cards now with their draw step between the mulligan they had and exiling with this. Crashing Footfalls. Okay, sure. So we can at least go for... Oh, hey! Bigger oh, hey. So I just cast Rags, hold up Fluster? Hell yeah, let's do that. Alright, well... I don't want to dash this just in case the card in their hand happens to be a copy of Dead Gone. Because worst case scenario there, like we dash this, they have Dead Gone, they do this, they untap, they Rhinos me, and the fact that I was able to find Flusterstorm and do all of this cool stuff, well, that'll mean nothing. So I don't want to do that to myself. But I am... Okay. Blah blah Rhinos. Same targets. So let's see what I can do about this. Looks like the answer is going to be next to nothing. So what I'm going to do here is... Well... I guess give myself the sad face attack, right? That thing still has 3 counters on it. Okay. Yep, not much I can do about that. So main phase 2, I'll just go ahead and cast this. Didn't find the land. Yikes. Okay, Fluster here, I guess I want Murktide back in my deck and Serum Visions can be exiled. That's depressing. Okay, so at the very least, we're not stuck looking at, another copy of Rhinos here. I won't pretend to be happy about the fact that I don't really have too much going on without a land drop. With a land drop, I'm actually mostly okay. Because what I'll end up doing next turn, assuming that I get to, you know, kind of participate, maybe hit with Rags or find a land, one of the two, I'll be able to... Oh, well, there's a land. Sick. I'll be able to go ahead and, in response to this Crashing Footfalls, I can Thought Scour to generate an additional storm, and each Fluster Storm will be at least 3 points of damage. Or, sorry, 3 mana required to do the thing. So, I do have something resembling a plan. Bone Crusher Giant. I am not terribly interested in that. No, I'm just gonna let that slide. So let's see what they want to do here. Nothing. Okay, looks like it is just a fetch. Spell 1, spell 2, spell 3, and this will require them to tap out. So I think I actually just want to... Wait, what? Oh, is this not on the stack yet? There it is. Okay, okay, okay. Alright. Okay. Same targets, same targets. There's no point to putting any of them onto Force and Negation because Leyline of the Void anyway. So like the fact that my Archmage's Charm is going to be exiled by the Force is pretty irrelevant here. So now we've basically tapped them out. I get to hit them with Rags for another turn here. So that's going to be pretty nice. They are down to 1 card, which is also pretty sick. But I am in pretty dire straits. Like this Murktide region is just like not really doing too much. Void Mirror is nice. I will be pretty happy to cast that post-combat. Roll Raggy. What do we got? Brazen Bower. I actually will Flusterstorm that, because I'm already not doing too much with this Flusterstorm next turn, seeing as I plan on casting Void Mirror right now. So what do we get? We get a Dead Gun. I have zero interest in that. And I don't know that I want to Thought Scour now, so I'm just going to let this rock. No! That sucks a lot. Alright. Yeah, there was really not much I was going to do about that, even with... Okay, so we're getting closer and closer to 7 cards, or to 7 mana. God. This is so bad for us. Like, I'm basically hoping at this point to play a 7 mana 3/3 as my plan, and honestly this plan sucks. So, like, I think I'm just not looking great here, but... Let's go ahead and take our 4, go down to 12. We can take a little solace in the fact that they're empty-handed, but like this is still just like not great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So next turn I can play this Murktide region at least, so that is something. But overall, not fantastic as far as plans go. Heck, if anything, I almost wish they had resolve the Rhino at some point so that I could okay, so they get a 2/2. So let's put this in tapped. Untap, get a basic, play this. And Rags is actually not a bad draw. So I get to do this. I have to tap out for this, but it's kind of what it is. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Haha. Fear my mighty 3/3. Actual dilemma. So what I can do is a couple of things here. I can block Bone Crusher Giant, go down to 2, and I'm sorry, go down to 4, and not worry about things like other copies of Fire Ice or Bone Crusher Giant burning me out. Or I could block Shardless Agent, still have my Murktide region around, but then I go to 2 and Bone Crusher Giant and Fire Ice become outs to kill me. I think I'm going to... You know, I do need to actually be able to win this game, so I'm going to go ahead and gamble. If they have it, honestly, this game is already looking really bad. So, like, okay. It's just another Shardless Agent. Oh, Prismari Command, sure. I can deal with that. Honestly, like, we had a lot of the tools to be able to fight this deck, and it just did not pan out. So, we take our L's. Alright, we got, what are we on, round 4? Yeah, 4 sounds right. Yeah, we're 2-1, we're on round 4. We just lost to Rhinos, which puts us, what, at 1-1 against these, elementals, against the Cascade decks. And they showed us Kahira, so they're either playing 4-color elementals, or they're playing blue-white control that plays Kahira and Solitude. Most likely it's actual elementals, though. So we're going to start here. Do this and start off with a Darcy. So the thing about elemental specifically is that you do not want to get into a long game with elementals. Like, that deck will absolutely fuck your couch if you get into a long game with it. So Prismatic Ending doesn't actually tell us which deck they're on at all. That literally only tells us that they're, you know, playing Modern. So, like, that card's everywhere. So let's go ahead and do this. They are drawing a Teferi. That also tells us nothing. Both decks play Teferi and Prismatic Ending, and green-white tells me elementals, though. Okay. So at least now I know more of what I'm looking for. Okay. Now, upsides, downsides. Things I can do here. I can Serum Visions, but if I miss on the land, then I'm definitely not going to be able to counter a Teferi. And I did miss on a land, which actually kind of sucks a lot. So I'm going to Serum Visions again, draw that land that we just saw, and I don't really know what I want to draw a fourth one, but I do want to bolt. So I'm going to go ahead and play the Steam Vents. Oh wait, if they're drawing a Teferi, I can just Thought Scour them and deny them to Teferi. Duh. Oh, 2 lands are gone. Alright. Oh, right, because I did it in their upkeep, not in the middle of their main phase or anything like that. Okay. Right. So they're still going to be able to cast Teferi here. I can't really do much about that, but I have 4 card types. So what I want them to do is just tick Teferi up so that I can untap an Unholy Heat, since my Unholy Heat is going to be able to do 6 to them. If they draw a card, I'm a little sad about that. Sweet. Let's go. And the Rags? Hell yeah. Alright. That's exciting. So, Teferi, hopefully down. If they force a negation this, then I am sad. But I can't do anything because Teferi, so sick. Alright, so now we're going to dash Rags, and if they have a Solitude to exile this thing, then that does suck, but I'll be glad to at least do that when they don't have mana for Ephemerate. So if they want a 2-for-1 themselves just to get rid of Rags, then I actually am mostly okay with that, at least until they start doing Ephemerate things. Sick. So let's go ahead and get to the combats. I wanna combat, baby, combat. So do they have Solitude or not? They do. Boo. Okay. Fine. So I'm not going to get my treasure or anything, but like I said, I would rather they use the 2 cards here. And they pitch the Ephemerate. Okay. I was going to say, before they actually have the mana for Ephemerate, I really just don't want to look at that card. Unfortunately, they... Ooh, a second basic forest? That's not normal. Things I can do. I think I'm actually going to just cast Expressive Iteration. Oof. That actually is kind of a oof. Bolt in hand, Murktide in deck, Darcy on board. So I want another land before I try casting Murktide Regent, because I don't really want to worry about having it immediately bodied by something when I can hold up a counterspell instead. So let's attack first. Well, I guess plans have changed. What do we got? Surveil. Oh, here's my card. Okay. I want you in the graveyard. I don't really care about that. Do we do anything about Kahira? No. Alright. And pepper him up with old Mrs. Dash here. I've definitely been wanting to use that phrase for like 2 full turns now, or 2 full rounds. Okay, so it looks like my Rags isn't gonna happen. And they might have the Ephemerate to make sure that this, I actually do want to put that on top. If they Ephemerate, then I'm actually pretty okay with that. So they're going to go ahead and trade. They're not going to have a creature on board for the Ephemerate itself. And I'm still going to have them with only 1 card in hand versus my Rags next turn. I still have Lightning Bolt, and if Rags hits, I'll be able to hold up Counterspell mana. So I'm still mostly okay with what's happening here. Okay, good. I was going to say, if that was like a big Teferi, then that does suck, but most other things are reasonable here. 1, 2, 3, 4 is not 5, which means I'm not looking at a hard cast copy of Solitude. And I'll be pretty happy to hit them here. Like I said, generate my treasure, do all the cool things. So what do we got? Just a land, okay. So we're going to return that to hand. I'm holding up Counterspell mana, and honestly, I am pretty okay with the way this is going. I am pleasantly surprised, not going to lie. Thought Scour I don't necessarily care about right now, so I'm just going to jam out like 100 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I want to do it like that in case I draw a Snapcaster. This way I have access to either Unholy Heat or Serra Vision, whichever is relevant, while still keeping myself with an 8/8. Yeah, so I don't know, all things good. 3 mana is a Risen Reef. Absolutely the fuck not. So I understand that I can still get hit with a Solitude here, but like Risen Reef resolving is probably like this close to being worst case scenario. So I'm just gonna go ahead and 8 them, take them down to 7. I'm not gonna worry about casting Rags as a haste threat because I have a counterspell, and really all I need to do is protect Murktide Regent for 1 more turn. So there's no point to like dashing this, maybe getting myself bodied, right? Like, what if they had either Endurance or Solitude, block this thing, take this damage, untap Solitude this? Now I'm kind of left with no threats because I tapped out a counterspell mana. No thank you. Instead, I'll just protect my threat that I already have on board. So if this is just a 5 mana Solitude, then I just win the game on the spot. Like that. Woo! Look at us go. So that was sweet. So we got game 1 against the Elementals deck. And here I want Void Mirrors, I want Mystical Disputes. Do I really want Force Negation? Not really. I kind of want nothing else, I think. This is fine. I don't think I want Force Negation in this matchup either. They showed us 2 basic forests, which tells us that this build is not playing any copies of Fury. So I don't think I need to put in a Braid because they're not like Ultra Creature heavy. It looks like they're just like Bant with an elemental theme in there. We didn't see any copies of Cavern of Souls, but that could just be they didn't draw any. So I think the cards that I want least here are the 1-off Archmage's Charm. Do I just cut like cantrips here? I think I cut like 1 Rags and 2 Serum Visions. And just like keep most of the shell intact, except I really want these cards. Okay, I think that's actually going to be a plan here. Yeah, it's weird because most elemental shells are either on like a blue-white control deck that happens to have Coherent and Elementals as like their win cons / removal, or they're playing like actual elementals with Omnath and other Omnath and Fury and Cavern of Souls. So them not really like showing us a real plan actually kind of messes up my sideboarding plan, because I'm like, well, what do I board against, you know? Alright, so that's going to be our plan for now, seeing as we haven't really gotten a real bead on all of what their deck is. I suspect it is just a like a Bant control deck that happens to be elemental themed, is my best guess here. So we're just going to go ahead and kind of six through this turn. But the cool thing about this hand, though, is that I do have access to... Actually, I think the second Murktide is pretty helpful. So let's do this. Let's cast Darcy. And starting from here, if they have the Unholy Heat... If they have Prismatic Ending for this thing again, then honestly, so be it. But I have Heat for... Not that. Ugh. Alright. Annoying. actually, I think I should do this first. So let's go ahead and grab more steam vents, and I'm gonna thought scour myself first. Spire Bluff Canal, Void Mirror. That'll be helpful later. I kind of wanted that earlier, but oh well. So let's see if they... okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead, attack now. If I attack now and they try to Endurance to make my Darcy a 1/1, I'm going to let that trigger resolve and then Unholy Heat the Voice of Resurgence so that they get a 1/1 token and at least it trades rather than just beating out my Darcy. So I want to use that in case they try to combat trick me here. But it looks like they're not going to do that. So I'm just going to do this anyway. Because I know I'm holding up Counterspell and stuff, I don't really want to deal with them having access to tokens every single time I want to kind of participate with any of my my smaller things here. So if this is just like an... okay, I was going to say if this is another voice, then honestly, so be it. But I have the ability to... oh! Do I just... I think I'm just going to... do it like this. So I'm not doing anything with the extra mana anyway, and I have another Murktide Regent in hand. So if they solve this problem, I would like to be able to present another one. Oh, damn. Well, I am happy I didn't max out on the first Murktide Regent, but I am sad that that worked out that way because I didn't play the Void Mirror first. I still am okay with that. No attack either? What? What the what? Expressive first. Okay. Okay. Rags in hand, Murktide on bottom, Bauble playable. I actually am just gonna play Rags. If they want to do something about Rags, then I'm okay with that, I think. Foundation Breaker. Okay, noted. So, note to self, don't waste an entire turn playing that Void Mirror. Oh, but I drew a land. Never mind. I can do that. Actually, do I even bother? Oh, that's actually fine for us. I think I'm okay with that. Like, I take the 2 here, and that's kind of whatever. But I will get to play Void Mirror. Void Mirror will blank the... oh, I should do this first. Yeah, Void Mirror is going to blank the Ephemerate on the way back. And a Chalice, LOL. The cards have been looked at. And I've got the counterspell for Foundation Breaker, so I think I'm pretty okay with this. So let's see. They, in theory, used their entire turn trying to break Void Mirror, but they can't because I'm going to counterspell. I do take the 5 and go to 8, but then I get to untap and, what, have Murktide plus, like, counterspell or something? That seems okay. Chalice on 1. I think... no, I care about that. I do care about that. I think my time is actually better spent just having, like, Murktide counterspell, untap Snapcaster counterspell. So, yeah, actually, yeah, I'm okay with the Chalice. Yeah, because now I can just, like, do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Let's expressive thought scour, so it's a 5/5. 3, 4, 5. So this will keep some types in, and the fact that I exiled all of my instants and sorceries from my graveyard will actually disguise the fact that I have the Snapcaster in hand, because I'm already only looking to Snapcaster on this counterspell anyway. So the fact that I'll be able to, I'll be able to, absolutely the fuck not. That card is so threatening. So they can't really attack, which is super nice. Darcy? Okay. I'll take that. Oh, right, duh. Never mind. Darcy doesn't do anything for me. But I can snap counter and draw a card. Also, snap countering will pump my Murktide too. So if they're going to go to 12 here, that is exactly a 2-turn clock if they don't attack with the Solitude. Oh, they're just casting that. Okay. And I would rather not deal with that. Haha. Grow, little friendo. Are we attacking? For 2. Boo. I still think I actually should block. Oh, that's not bad. All right. So go to 6, and Void Mirror plus Chalice do have the nice combination of blanking my Darcy and Bauble, so that part does suck. I can't really say nice things about that. I go to 4. Fury doesn't do anything. They go to 9. Okay. What's this? Flamekin Harbinger gets countered. Kahira in hand. Okay. Oh, that's... I wonder if I can find a way to remove a... I'm going to just cast Snapcaster because this does, I think, open me up to a couple more draws. That's not a bad one. All right. Choo-choo. All aboard the pain train. You go to 3. No spells. Okay. 6, 7. So we'll just do it like this, because it's already just going to be a 3/3 anyway, so there's no point to, like, you know, worrying too much about any of the things that are in my graveyard. I can just, like, present a big ass board here. So if they Kahira first and attack, then I can block with the Murktide, trade with the Solitude, and that puts them at, what, 7? Yeah. So 7's annoying, but it does mean that they will also... Oh. I will definitely just block with Snapcaster then. That's much better for me. I have questions as to what you can do. Okay, so they can bounce this with Teferi. Sure. They can... Yeah. Okay, that's cool. So this will be a nice little, I guess, benefit for us, because remember, we didn't delve all of our stuff earlier, so this is actually okay. 3, 4, 5, and then just delve 1, delve 2, I guess. So now they still have to worry about both of these threats. Solitude doesn't work without a land drop, and they do have the mana to signify... Nope, never mind. I was going to say they had the mana to signify Supreme Verdict, but like if they had that, then I wasn't winning this game anyway, if I'm being completely honest. But it looks like that's not what's happening here. Chalice on 1 and Void Mirror means that this game is pretty much locked up, so woohoo, let's go us. Let's go Magic the Gathering cards. Boop. Cool. So we are 3-1 now over Elementals, which to be honest, I actually think is a pretty hard match. But yeah, I don't know. Good cards, having a good plan, and just making sure to like not body ourselves on resources makes it so that we can, you know, play the games where things don't all go according to plan. So good luck to us in this last round. All right, last round. So what have we got going on? We got a bunch of lands, 2 counter spells on the draw, 2 Serum Visions as well. Our opponent mulliganed to 6. I don't think this is worth mulliganing. I think I do want to keep this. It is definitely a slow hand, but I get to have an informed decision with my Serum Visions based on the land they play. I get a couple of counter spells in case shit gets real because I'm on the draw. And realistically, when I'm on the draw a lot of the times, especially with no companion draw, I can probably expect this game to go a little bit longer, so the card selection is going to be like worth my time, you know? So let's see what ends up actually happening here, though. Marsh Flats, are we getting Stoneforge Mystic? Mystic-tid? I don't know, give me a comment if you want to know exactly what kind of word that actually should be. Are we mill with no companion? Are we blue black control with new cards? We're getting thought seized. Okay. Well, I play poker. We got 2 pair. I don't actually play poker, y'all. Okay, so they do take one of my counter spells. Okay. So what's going on? Oh, a Darcy. Ah. That, okay. We take those, you know the rule. Can't thought seize the top of the deck, etc. So they are at 13, so they could just be like some Esper Shadow deck too. They are being fairly. Oh, we're doing Reanimator things. Cool. Okay, so looks like this is gonna be. Oh, and they got the Rites and Emissary already in hand, ready to do the thing. Look at them go. All right, cool. So I'm going to go ahead, attack for 1. I'm holding up Counterspell. They know that, but I also have Thought Scour that I can cast in case this next turn from them is a bit of a dud. So I'll be pretty happy to at least like have some kind of plan going on here. So let's first do this. And against them, I don't really mind just like putting this in tapped in case I get the back end of something that I don't really want to deal with. Graveyard U. And we drew Rags too. All right. So I can't dash Rags because if I dash Rags and I get my creature, if I get this thing killed, then I'm not going to have mana for Counterspell. And I do know that they have, oh, I don't have a sorcerer in my yard. What am I doing? I can just play Serum Visions and make this a 3/3. So, I want to dash Rags so bad, but it's not happening because it's, well, bad. But I can do this, make this a 3/3. So that'll be kind of dope. I do want to keep that in hand. And I don't really want either of those. So, actually, no, that's false. I want exactly one of those. This way, if they don't have the land and don't cast the Unburial Rites, I'll be able to go ahead, untap, and then Murktide plus hold up Counterspell. So having the 4th mana there will rock pretty hard. But as it stands, I'm looking at what they're flashing back this Faithful Mending. I can't really do much about that, so it's kind of whatever. That card's so good. Man, like Faithless Looting with flashback and instant speed, except you also gain life too. Yikes. So they dropped 2 different target targets for Unburial Rites in the Emissary and the Archon here. So they will be able to like persist / Unburial Rites here, and I do have to deal with that multiple times, which is annoying. But the upside here is that I do have the counterspell. I'm glad we kept the opening hand that we did. They do have to fetch and take a little bit of damage to do that, and if either I draw a counterspell or they don't have another reanimation spell, then I'm actually looking kind of peachy here. I can also just like draw a snapback. That's nice too. So they know I have that one though. That's not a secret. And do I want a Rags or do I want a Murktide? I want a Rags. Right. Rags dash Visions first, actually. No. Ship you. So I can first Rags, see what I hit. Assuming I hit nothing, I can then go ahead and cast Serum Visions and still have 2 mana? A Teferi! Oh, that's really good for me, actually, because no matter which threat they play, I can just go ahead and bounce it. That's... yeah, let's do that. Library. No. Alright, so we're going to go ahead, bounce the Rags back to hand. If they have a persist for the Archon, that's not that bad, because I can just go ahead and sacrifice the Darcy, bounce the Archon with a Teferi, and then just kind of like keep it going, you know? They are at 6, which is relevant. They could also just like not have, just not have a thing. That'd be nice. Nope, they have a thing. Okay. So they sacrifice. Oh, they also gain 3 life? God, that's awful. Alright. Sack, discard. But they go to 9, which is kind of a pain in the ass, actually. I hope they don't have another persist for this fucking emissary. That would really suck. Because if they do that and, like, call Planeswalker, then I'm probably just dead. So, I don't know. Fingers crossed, y'all? No! Oh, wait. Okay. Mending, still really bad for us, though. So they can find any number of persist and or Unbury Rites, just kind of rinse and repeat here. And then when I bounce for Teferi, they can cast the back half of this and discard the Cruelty to kind of keep the train going here. They have a lot of action. So let's see what they discard, and then, of course, what we draw to kind of come up with a plan of some sort, because we definitely need a plan. Teferi and Polluted Delta are their discards, okay. Thought Scour. Not terribly helpful just yet, but that's okay. We want Scalding Tarn. I want to grab... another island seems fine. So let's do this first. So let's see what we nab. We nab an Unmarked Grave. I want no part of that. So I guess I'm just going to cast a big-ass Murktide region here, right? I'm going to keep the counterspell in there. 3. Did I already target that? 7/7, okay. Oh, you know what? I should have actually made it 8/8 so that it can outpace this. Yeah, I actually think that was a little bit of a mistake. So we have Rags back in hand. Unmarked Grave is not terribly helpful, but 7 plus 2 is 9. They're at 9. So they have to like cast this if they don't have a reanimation thing just to kind of stay alive here. So that at least is a bit of a plus. I can also Thought Scour myself like into a lightning bolt or something. So there's... Okay. Can't do much about that. Like, I don't have a 1 mana counterspell in here or anything like that. So I don't think I need to like do too much with that. So now they're like looking for what? Oh, okay. So they could just have another persist. Unmarked Grave. That is not a persist. Sick. Cool. So we actually have a few ways to get lethal here. So if we decide to oh, I plus the other turn. Never mind. Whatever. Thought Scour myself. Unholy Heat and Lightning Bolt. No, those were the ones we wanted in hand. Plus this thing. Scour me. Dang it. What I'm digging for here is either another Murktide to pump this one, or a Snapcaster. And I can still... Okay. Got both, actually. So, sick. So, we want Murktide, or Counterspell in hand, Visions, Murktide. And then Murktide's going to be able to delve 4 cards to make 11. All aboard the pain train. Choo-choo! 12-12. Let's go. Kerpow. So we are playing against Esper Reanimator, and we want... Oh no! Is this thing breaking? Okay, good. I thought Moto was like breaking for a second. I was like, come on, you were doing so good. But no, we're okay. So that's 9 cards. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did against all the Cascade decks, which is going to be like taking out these Lightning Bolts and these Unholy Heats. Unholy Heat is good against Teferi, but like, you know, my plan A here really is just going to be like to keep their spells the hell off the stack. Because honestly, if their spells hit the stack, then as you see, that's when we come very close to losing these games. Like, they only have to resolve one big giant thing. So we're going to have -4 Bolt, -4 Heat, and then -1 Searing Visions. And the cards we do want are +2 Crypt, +2 Dispute, which is nice because they play Teferi, like we saw them play that. +2 Force, and +3 Fluster. Sweet thing about this specific combo deck is that like all of their big scary things are instants and sorceries, so our Fluster Storms are going to look pretty good here. So yeah, fingers crossed that this game goes a lot like the first one did. But honestly, like, all of these reanimation decks are pretty sweet. Like, Archon of Cruelty into Sarah's Emissary with Persist is just like the biggest chef's kiss these combo players really could have asked for. I'm gonna ask after the game if our opponent is also playing Gifts, because we didn't see one. I have to assume they are, right? Like, Gifts just seems so absurdly strong in these decks. Like, imagine like just like, because you can like do a full 4 Gifts pile now, right? Like, if you already have a reanimation spell like Persist in hand, you can end of turn and use Gifts to get like, you know, threat mending Persist or something like that, or I'm sorry, threat like mending Unburial Rites. And like, how the hell do you make a pile about that, right? Like, it just seems absolutely absurd. So I actually kind of like what's happening here, and I don't necessarily mind the idea of them going the Esper Control route with it rather than just trying to be ultra turbo about it. Because that at least means, oh, this is not bad, actually. I've got Rags, Force, an actual counterspell, too. Yeah, I'm with it. Let's do this thing. So, what I would really like for Christmas is for them to just, like, not Thoughtseize us. That'd be pretty great. If they spend their first couple of turns, I don't know, casting like Serum Visions and stuff, that sounds absolutely amazing. So I'm gonna wish in some universe of universes is that's actually what happens here. To be honest, I doubt it, but you know, fingers crossed, I guess. I wonder what they're thinking about. Okay. River of Tears. And I am getting Thought Seized. Okay, so they're going to take one of my 2 counter spells, but they can't take my threat because I just have 2 rags, so whoops. So it's either Force or counter spell. I expect them to take Force here. They could just take actual counter spell, but Force is probably a little better against what they're doing because I can play threats and force, whereas I can't play threats and counterspell currently. Okay, so that is exactly what ends up actually happening. Triple rags, no! But this does feel really good in case they do come at me with a removal spell. So let's see if that's what ends up happening here. So like if they kept a hand with like removal spell for rags, and I get the third one, I guess they'll be pretty disappointed about that. Also of note, like I don't mind discarding extra copies of rags to an Archon if it comes on the table. So if I start losing, I guess that's a good scenario. Don't really want 3 of these though. I wonder if they'll lend me copies of Faithful Mending. Honestly, if Rags finds a Faithful Mending, I might just cast one, not turn 2 because I want to hold up Counterspell, but on turn 3, if my Rags finds any copies of their Faithful Mending, Unmarked Grave. What row? Alright, so they're casting the Entomb effect, they're getting the Archon, okay. So let's see what we get here. Aww. I wanted to use their counterspell. I mean, I'm not actually sad that I'm not going to be able to use their counterspell, but that is good that it's a counterspell they don't have access to. Currently, I'm the one with threats, though, so, like, the counterspell looks a lot better for me than it does for them anyway, but let's see what ends up actually happening here. Is this just like a Faithful Mending? If so, I'm not doing anything about it. I'm just going to let that rock. So, only shitty part about this, though, is that thanks to the Thoughtseize, they do know I have Counterspell. So, I'm kind of content here to, like, just Thought Scour end of turn and then kind of untap and see what happens from there. Like, oh, okay, so they do have a land. So, let's target me. See what happens here. Scalding Tarn. Do I want? Oh, duh. I'm casting a Thought Scour. I keep thinking of this card as opt. I'm going to mill the card anyway, so I might as well just mill the maximum number of cards. Untap. 2 Snapcasters. That's actually not bad if I can get my way into more treasures and or actual counter spells. Ooh. I actually do want to Thought Seize them. That seems pretty strong. Archmage's Charm. That, I think, costs a little too much mana to be reliable here. I'm going to put that in my graveyard. Oh. Well then. Get that shit out my face. So they do have double Faithful Mending, which is clearly really good. Man, I guess I'm glad I didn't find a land there. So they're going to get the Faithful Mending. That's going to get to smooth out their draw probably a lot. And I need to develop a little bit of a faster clock here. So I will be glad to just jam out like one of these Snapcasters empty for the sake of developing a much faster clock on a table. I'm not going to Thought Scour, I think, with the Snapcaster. But that's still, I think, not I know. I'll make a decision based on what they do next turn. So they are working with one card, but they do have the 2 Faithful Mendings in the yard. They have an actual black source now, not just like this River of Tears. Honestly, River of Tears sucks. I don't know why they're playing that card. You have to like work so hard for it to even be half of a real duel most of the time. I just like do not like that card. So let's snap back first. And Thought Scour. No, I do want a Thought Scour. Because Thought Scour is super likely to spin me into another 1 or 2 card types for Darcy. And then having a clock of 7 is exactly 2 turns. So yeah, I've talked myself into doing that. So let's do this. To the graveyard you go. 4 types. And we hold 2 counterspells now. So that is exactly a 2-turn clock. Let's get our attack on. Boop, boop. So they do have to like use their Faithful Mendings in kind of flail mode to avoid just being 2-turned. Okay. So I'm pretty okay with them just kind of like flailing their arms to avoid just being lethaled. And if it doesn't really help them develop their plan, then so much the better, you know? The only thing I do want in the next couple of turns here, I do want to find one of my Tormod's Crypts. That would be really lovely. So they're going to go to 9. That's going to help them avoid lethal here. But again, they're just kind of like flailing their arms and not really doing too much of consequence right now. If they find, I don't know, like a... Oh, what can they find to get out of this? I guess they could find like a Mystical Dispute or something to battle my counterspell. But currently, like, they got some work to do. Like, it's turn 5. They're on 3 lands. Even though I'm on 2 lands, my deck can function. Theirs really can't. Or rather, they can function on, like, 3 lands, but it's kind of ugly. So we are better able to function on a low land count. That's more accurate. All right, so they managed to hit a land drop number 4 here. They don't have an Unburial Rites in the graveyard, so that's not threatening like a big lethal creature or anything. So here I'm just going to go ahead and untap. I don't need to press buttons. What I am going to do is go ahead and attack for 7. And getting the treasure token from this Rags means that I can hold up double counterspell, and that's a super huge deal. Oh, well. I can't cast your Archon opponent. As cool as that would be. So they're going to go ahead and mending again. And I still don't really mind this, though. Like, they can kind of do that all they want. As long as they're not actually contributing to the board, I'm pretty happy about this. Again, the fact that this thing gains them 2 life, though, is so strong. Like, they really should have been dead by now. But they're at 4 instead of 0 here. And that's a pretty big difference. Like, in this specific game, I'm still fine. But if they do, like, anything other than Supreme Verdict, I'm pretty excited about this. Thoughtseize resolves. You can lose 2 life to take one of my 2 counterspells. Yeah. All right, sweet. So we went 4-1. So honestly, like, good deck is good. I don't know what else to tell y'all, really. So let's head to Modern Tempo is what we just played. And yeah, I guess a few takeaways for this deck. So as we saw, this deck has at least a solid plan against really just all manner of decks. Like, you get hyper efficient removal against the creature decks, you get to play counterspells and snapcasters against the combo decks, and then you get to sideboard into things like Flusterstorm when those things are necessary. And we played against 2 Cascade decks and a Reanimator deck, so Flusterstorm looked really good out of the sideboard. We literally had excuses to play every single one of our sideboard cards here, except like these Abrades didn't really come up, but we also didn't play against Hammer Time, which is one of the most popular decks in the format. So the fact that we didn't side in the Abrades, whatever, we just happened to dodge the most popular deck in the format. But every other card here we sideboarded in quite a bit, like, and we got to develop real plans with this deck against all manner of shenanigans that we saw. So yeah, the deck's good. I don't know, that's really what it is. The deck's good. There's a reason a lot of people play this. But that's gonna be our video for today. If you liked what you watched on Izzet Tempo, just make sure to like the video, sub to the channel, and let me know in any comments if you would have taken any lines differently, because this is not a deck I usually play. Let me know what you're playing in your Izzet Tempo deck. Are you playing like Brazen Borrower? Are you playing multiple Archmage's Charms? Are you not playing Snapcaster Mages? Are you playing different artifact destruction in your sideboard rather than all 4 Braids like I am? Let me know what you're doing so that I can maybe learn something from y'all. Like I said, this is not a deck I usually play. But the fact that I don't play this deck and pretty easily coasted to a 4-1 just tells y'all about the power of this deck. So anybody looking to spend a good amount of money on a very good deck, hey, this is one to pick up. So let me know what you think, and I will simply see y'all on the next one.